Hey guys, it's Yunni. Today I'm going to share with you guys how I buzz my own undercut. So if you aren't able to make it to your barbers to get a haircut because of COVID and everything, and you want to learn how to cut your own hair at home, this is the video for you. So these are the supplies that you're going to need. I got these clippers from Walmart for 30 bucks and it comes with like all sorts of extra gadgets and stuff. I totally would recommend. It's a good investment. And you're going to need some sort of comb and brush to, put your hair up and just comb away all the flyaways so that you don't accidentally cut your long hair off. And I would recommend some scissors. Any type of scissors will do, just because you are cutting your own hair and it's a little inconvenient. So I use this for like the hard to get places on the edges. And then I also got this from Sally's. I don't think it was very expensive at all. I just use this to brush the hair off. It's very convenient. And you're gonna need some sort of water to spray your hair and get rid of the flyaways. And I picked out these 3 lengths for the clippers that I usually use. So I start from like a longer length, the 4.5 millimeters, and then I go to the 3 and the 1.5, and then I just end up using the bare clipper by itself. And then I also use the small one that it came with just to clean up some details. You're also going to need some sort of handheld mirror so that you can see the back of your head, and also a t-shirt that you don't really care to get dirty because it's going to be messy. Another thing I recommend is to lay a towel on the floor before you start. It makes cleanup so much easier. So first you're going to want to brush your hair out and put it into a bun, and then use some water in a spritz bottle or something to wet your hair so that it stays, and use a comb to brush everything, all the flyaways and everything up. And don't forget the sides of your ears because you're gonna get there too and you don't want any hair to come off. So I'm gonna talk through as I go, but I'm gonna give you the rundown first. So I start with this 4.5 milliliter length that I chose, and I just go through everything with this. And then I switch to the 3 millimeters to go over it again, and then I switch to the 1.5 to kind of fade things out. So I just cut halfway up and then kind of go upwards a little more. And then I switch to the small clipper that I showed you earlier to clean things up a bit, and my baby hairs on the bottom. And as for the technique that I use, I brush my hand up to the top of my undercut, and I make sure to place my index finger like right where this line is. And just make sure to hold down all the hair that you don't want to cut. And then I go up with my clipper and then diagonal and sideways and all the angles, because sometimes your hair needs, like a little help to get even. And then I do the same with the 2 sides. The sides are a little tricky, so you really need to pay attention to just work your angles when you're on the side. And if you're ever unsure about how you're doing, just check yourself out in the mirror like this. And then I use this to dust everything off every now and then before I check myself out of here. You can also use this to dust off your clipper. And now I'm switching to my 3. your head here are a little difficult to get even, so you're really gonna have to go over it like more than a couple times and at like different angles. And I don't know if you can see from the side here, at the very top I have like a little row of hair sticking out that I can't quite get into, so that's where the scissors come in handy. You're just gonna take the mirror with one hand and then use the scissors to kind of just trim over it a little. It doesn't even have to be too short because like that's the connecting point between your hair and then your undercut. So just trim it enough so that it doesn't pop out too much from the rest of the undercut. So as you can see on the two sides right here, it's still a little bit darker, which means it's a little bit longer than the rest. And I'm switching to the 1.5 millimeters now to trim the sides down a little more and then to just kind of fade bottom up. So for the fade, I just hold my whole hand like halfway, and then I go around my fingers and then I hold the mirror and then I check myself out and slowly fade it up a little. Also with the clippers, I don't know if you noticed for these additional heads, it is at a slanted angle, and the same goes for the clippers. So as you're trying to fade or just cut, try going at this angle. So it's like you're scooping your hair. The tip of it is the shortest, and that's how you're gonna want your fade, is for the bottom to be the shortest and then the top to fade out a little bit. So go at a scooping angle and keep checking the mirror. So as you can see, I went a little shorter than I wanted, and now I have to smooth everything out because I didn't check the mirror enough.
Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my light. Can I take you there?
So because the fade was really uneven and I had to go shorter than I wanted to, I essentially evened everything out with this length, which is totally fine. If you go too short, just even it out. Worry about the fade later, or don't do the fade at all. It really doesn't matter. So now I'm going in with the fade with just this spare clipper here. And also for some clippers at the side, you can also adjust the length. It's pretty cool.
For this all my life, you're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my light. Can I take you there?
And when you think everything is pretty even, switch to the smaller clipper if you have one. If you don't, it's totally fine. You can totally use like a razor if you have one to just clean up the baby hairs, or just skip that step altogether.
Take you there. Like it was the first time. Do you remember? Can I take you
Final step is to dust everything off with this. Probably take a shower if you're doing this at home. And lastly, check yourself out in the little mirror and with your phone, take a picture or take a snap just to make sure everything is even, there's no blotchy spots. So this is the result. It is very normal for your skin to be like a little red and irritated right after the cut. It'll totally fade. For situations where you do a bad cut, it's totally fine. You can just even everything out with the length that you're going in with. It's just hair. It's gonna grow back. But yeah, if you did cut shorter than expected like I did today, it's okay, just even everything out. And the safe bet is to always start with the longest and keep checking the mirror throughout. And also if you're trying to go for a fade, start low and then work your way up. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you did cut your hair with me, tag me. My Instagram is UNDERCUT and comment down below and let me know how it went. I hope this video helped you out and I'll see you guys next week.